What's up, creative community? Once again, this is Lorenzo from the COACHMC studio, and this is the place where we'll help you to shape unique behavior deliveries. And where we'll help you guys from the acting community, from the creative community, from the performing community, where we'll help you to get recognized in the audition room every time you get called to action. I couldn't be more happy to be transmit live and direct today here on YouTube. Welcome everybody to this show. Welcome everybody to the COACHMC studio. Welcome everybody into the chat room. If you're here for the first time, make sure to subscribe, to hit the like button, and to activate the bell so you get notified every time we grind out a new video. And also, if you are looking for any coaching services, for any solutions for your show reel, for your upcoming audition, if you want to perfectionize your communication skills, if you want to install new habits, you're looking for other solutions when it comes up to spice up your program and your product with great and magnificent ideas, why don't you contact me through my website? It's the coachmc.studio. Let's get together. Let's find out if we're a great match, and maybe we can collaborate, work something out together, and have a great adventure and a great time together. And I'm more than happy to share all of my tools and my experiences with you guys, because I feel this is part of the culture. I was blessed to I had many great teachers, many great coaches, many great mentors that kind of guided me through my life, through my career. I've met and I've ran into very different, very beautiful minded people all over the globe. And from all these ideas, from all these concepts, 10 years ago, that's when we started our endeavors here at the COACHMC studio, because we realized that there is like a unique thread that kind of unites us all when it comes down to communication, to be creative, to put something magnificent out there. And I've distilled that into a method, into a technique, which I call Do Love Act. So I'm inviting you guys to check this out and travel to my website and kind of navigate through my content, and also subscribe to all of my other adventures, whether it's on Instagram where it's the COACHMC, or on Facebook where it's the COACHMC as well. So welcome everybody, and let's dive right into this chat. I don't want to make this too long. It's sort of a shorter video and chat with you guys. Hello, Annie Boo. Hello, Rosita Macarons. It's great to see you guys again. Thank you so much for joining the chat tonight. It's a really exciting moment right now, and I feel like we're covering different types of topics. We're diving into very different types of elements and instruments when it comes down to acting, to building up a career. Talking about headshots in our recent episodes, or when we had the pleasure to interview Ron De Hacoprian, we're talking about great and legendary icons from entertainment industry, where we're diving into the lives of these beautiful artists. Last time it was Johnny Depp that we were observing and kind of analyzing a bit more closer. And that's how we love to proceed here. We love to give you some tangible tips, some tangible tools. We also like to extrapolate the most powerful tools from the masters in our respective field of expertise. But we also love to motivate you guys and giving you some inspiration and some great mindset tools that you can then operate for yourself to kind of make this change happen for yourself, to strive for perfection, strive for greatness, strive for something unique and extraordinary in your life. And that's why the title of today's video is The House of Success, which is not a TV series. It's not a show. It's not on Netflix. It's not on Amazon Prime or Disney Plus or Hulu. No, sir. It's happening right here, right now with you. It's yourself. It's your house. And you're building a house of success for yourself. And how we do that, and why we should do that, and what that has to do with our life, with our career, with acting and communication, I'm going to break down for you guys in a minute. So let me welcome everybody in the chat room. We got a few questions already. Maybe you have something on the computer is scratching. Is the computer scratching for real? Sorry, guys. Is everything all right? Maybe it's the paper. I've turned everything off. No, it's okay. Okay, super. Thank you so much for Rosita for reminding us. It's so great you guys are here. I love this little community that is popping up every time we're going live. It means a lot to me. It's so beautiful to see that some people really cherish our content and really value our product. Make sure to share this content with your creative community as well. And shoot this video out there. Make them acquainted with the COACHMC studio. And yeah, just show us your love with a thumbs up. It's really much appreciated. So what is the house of success? You see, there are two ways on how you can tackle success, right? Let's say you're an architect, and when you're an architect, you want to build the tallest skyscraper in town. So there are two ways of doing that, like my man Gary Wee always says, right? There are two ways of building the tallest skyscraper in town. So whether you build like a medium-sized skyscraper and then you tear down all the other skyscrapers around you down, so the only one left standing is yours, and then automatically you are the tallest skyscraper in town, or you actually build the tallest skyscraper in town and you welcome all this beautiful and different life into your architecture, right, and your compound. So what I mean by that is, if we are always chasing and hunting something, if we are always trying to grab and catch something, most of the times what we're chasing, let's talk about success, right? If we chase success, if we hunt success, if we try to catch success, right? What success will do is actually avoid us, run away from us. It will hide from us, and it will kind of escape and dodge our intention to grab it and to catch it, because that's how human condition works. That's how our brain works. If you attack the brain, if you are threatening, if you are too loud, if you're too aggressive, if you are all over the place, our counterpart's brain, our brain will shut down. It will protect itself from the noise and from everything that is coming, because it might be threatening, and it might be too much, it might be too loud, it might be too confusing. Our brain loves clear, beautiful, full of contrast type of messages that hit the reptilian center, that entertain us, that informs us. So the same thing is true for success. If we try to catch success, it will dodge away, will run away. We have to welcome success. We have to invite success into our own home. We have to create a beautiful place where success actually feels welcome and safe, and where success likes to stay for a long, long time. The same thing is also true if you get invited over by some friends or by some people that you just recently met, and these people, they don't seem, there's this guy and he invites you over, it's like, and you don't seem to like this person that much, right? Seems to be arrogant, he seems to be strange, he seems to be a slightly weird or kind of a bizarre behavior. Would you go to someone who is like that? Would you stay at his place? Maybe you're just going there because you have, you feel like some sort of compassion. Maybe there is like a business opportunity showing up through that person, and you kind of like to entertain a business relationship with that person, but you just would go there because you have a certain type of a goal, and then you would kind of leave as soon as possible. You don't like to go to places where the people that invite you over to those places are actually unfriendly or arrogant or strange or just not likable people, right? You wouldn't go to those places. The same thing is true for success. Success doesn't like to stay with people or into, doesn't like to stay at homes that are not cleaned up, that are not safe. That are not a great environment, right? We love to stay at great environments, and so does success. And the thing is, reality, matter, everything is built out of atoms. Everything is built out of, these beautiful invisible building blocks. But actually, if you look into an atom, it's mostly, composed out of space. The nucleus, the center, the core of an atom is very tiny. It's tiny, 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 tiny. It's super small. And the outer boundary of that atom, usually the electron that is surrounding the core, is compared to its center, it's miles away. And the space in between is basically empty. So what connects us is space. We are connected by space. Our atoms are based on space. Space itself, it's 90% dark matter. We don't really know what dark matter is and how, what is dark matter composed of. So everything kind of is empty, and everything is connected through space. And the space that surrounds us, if that space is filled up with great energy, if that space resonates with us, with our ideas, with our personality, then we attract exactly the same thing that we are also resonating with, right? Things that we love, that we will attract. And if that space is a healthy and a great environment, we will attract healthy and great things. If our space, if our environment, if our building blocks, the way we are constructing our reality day by day, is not made in an appropriate way, if it's not cleaned up, if it's just messy, if it's confusing, if it's not really showing any structure, any support, then we just attract you know, things that have no structure, that have no support, and things that are messy as well. And most definitely these things, they don't, they won't lead us to success, right? What leads us to success and what success is, we're going to break down in a second. But I think just to clarify this very easy concept that today we want to tackle in order to kind of ignite your mindset around the idea of what success is, and if we should chase success or welcome success before we kind of prosecute success, we should attract success into our system, into our home, into our body. We should, create a container, a vase, a box, a house, a home where success feels like a part of the family, like somebody, who would actually, stay there forever, stay with us forever and never leave us again. So Aniboo asks, what do you think about Daniel Craig? Would you do a video about him like you did about Johnny Depp? Actually, it's a quite interesting idea. Thank you so much, Aniboo, about, learn from legends about Daniel Craig, because definitely he has a very interesting career, how he got to 007 and what he did in order to develop. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we're doing like more of a contemporary learn from legends show as well, where we kind of cover a couple of actors, kind of in one pool, and Daniel Craig is going to be one of them, because I don't feel like singularly right now, I have to be totally honest, I'm not totally educated on his life. I kind of love his work, and the first James Bond, Casino Royale, was amazing, one of the best James Bonds ever. So I kind of like what he did and what he gave to the James Bond franchise, but right now I don't know a lot about his background. So yeah, I will inform myself about his life, and if there's a lot of juicy stuff and components that potentially could be useful for you guys from the creative community, don't forget to smash the like button, by the way, right? Then yeah, for sure, let's think about it. Maybe on a live session on Instagram or something. Let us know in the comment section, by the way, what kind of actors you like to get covered in the future when we're talking about learn from legends, where we kind of dive into the life of a great icon, of a great actor, of somebody who really stood out in the entertainment industry and really made a mark for himself, and what we can learn from that. So if you got any suggestions, let us know in the comment section below. So let's get back into this topic, because I feel when I look at my colleagues, a lot, when I look at the acting craft, we always will experience fluctuations. There is this time when we get hired, and when we work, and when we're excited, and everything kind of flows, and everything is beautiful. And there is time where we actually don't have any jobs, or we don't get that many castings. We don't get called that often from our agents, or there's more like this dry period. And then there are events, there are many opportunities to kind of show ourselves. But when we're talking about success, we always talk, or we always define in our mind, we always define success with whether we get employed, whether we run a great show, or it's also, of course, like the financial success that we can enjoy through through our endeavors, through our jobs. So a lot of people out there, they fail at acting because their idea of success is big billboards, big checks, big awards, big events, and cover of magazines, right? They have maybe a slightly distorted idea of what success actually means in the entertainment industry, or as being an actor, right? What does that actually mean? And if you are always chasing for the cover of the magazine, or for the great award, or for big checks and big productions, yeah, it's a nice chase, and definitely it's a great goal to be part of a great, of a big budget movie, of being part of a great series, right? Something on Hulu and HBO, something very exciting with a big budget. It's great to receive an Academy Award or any award for your acting endeavors, for our acting endeavors. Of course, that's all beautiful, but is that really a goal? I mean, yes, it's a great and beautiful goal, but I mean, it's so abstract in a way that if I chase something like that, such an abstract, such a distant, such a grand, goal, such a grand mission, that I kind of lose myself in my everyday, life, in my everyday constituencies and requirements and all that. I can easily lose kind of sight of that great goal, because it's so grand, it's so big, that it's actually more like a mountain that I have to kind of climb. Instead of doing that, what we should do, instead of chasing and hunting and always looking for the ultimate success, we should build that ultimate house, that ultimate architecture for ourselves. Because the investment we place in ourselves, when we invest in ourselves, in our knowledge, in our skills, in our habits, that's an investment that will never vanish, that will never go away, that will never fade. It's an investment in us that will never kind of dry out. It's investing in our beliefs, in our systems, in our instruments. And what I meant by that we're all connected and that all is energy and space, is if I fill up my space with great intent, with great work, and with great habits, I don't have to keep in mind that I want to reach that ultimate goal. My goal is to get better on a daily basis. My goal is my work. It's not my goal is not fame. My goal is not getting rich. My ultimate goal is not the Oscar, the award of being an icon. My goal is to have the opportunity and the great privilege to improve myself on a daily basis. And when I fill up that space with that juicy critical mass of great intentions and great work, and really being specific about what I want to reach every day and kind of hunt for that and really make sure that I kind of achieve things that I can control and acknowledge even on a daily basis, where I know, oh, I did this. Oh, look at my success today. I've learned a new monologue. I've learned a new song. I've kind of practiced stunts or martial arts or combat, or I did something that I can verify and that I can put into my system, where I can tangibly see the results, the progress, and the evolution. That's where the success slowly but surely will come in, because success is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you can have a remarkable type of career with an ordinary lifestyle, with an ordinary mission, with just, if your commitment is mediocre, your output most likely will be average. If your intent is great and remarkable, most likely the result will be super, will be great, will be awesome. So it's about what I put into work to welcome success. I have to create that body, that container, that vase where I can let success in. And that what I will create, that architecture needs to be stable. It needs to be supported. It needs to have structure. It needs to, have something that I call the beauty of symmetry. When something that you do has symmetry, when it has a reasonable common sense type of approach, when what you're doing makes sense to you on a daily basis, where it's not confused and not all over the place, and also in terms of dedication and daily commitment, where sometimes you put in 4 hours of work and then you kind of leave it there for a week, and then again it's like 4 minutes, and then another day it's like 10 minutes. No, it needs to have a symmetry. It needs to have a consistency. It needs to become a habit. When you fill up your space, your room, your consciousness with good work, great habits, and you kind of you continuously strive for improving yourself in a symmetrical way, constantly input, right? Then you will create that container. Then you will kind of manufacture that architecture for yourself, where you attract success, where success feels welcome, because all of a sudden you transpire that, you transmit that, you kind of, throughout your pores, in your space, you will resonate with the people that are striving for the same thing, right? Misery likes company, but success likes company as well. People will realize he is the winner. He's on the winning side. This person, she is very dedicated. She is very committed. She is open to suggestions. She likes to work. She is obsessed about details. She's asking specific questions. She's a winner, because she's already behaving as if she would enjoy massive success. Because people who enjoy massive success, usually they're very responsible, and they're very, they're very, let's say, conscious about what they need to maintain that type of level. Once you reach that level, it's about being there and keeping that constant output of high quality. So success will continuously flow into your container, into your silo, into what you have created, and will feel welcomed by your home, by your house. I'm reading his biography, and I could tell you some things. Annie Boo just told me about Daniel Craig. Yeah, why not? We should maybe exchange about that, and maybe I can get back to you if you need some more information. But now I've explained you the architecture of what I fundamentally try to convey in today's video, right? This is the framework. So let's work on some tangible tips and tools. Let's lay down a game plan that you can follow up upon and then put into work every day of your life. So the space that you fill up with your good work, with your good and great intent, you have to also fill up yourself with good intent and good information. If you are filled up, you as a person, as a performer, as an actor, as a communicator, as a seller, as a human being, if you fill yourself up with waste and toxic compounds and stuff that is unhealthy, guess what type of success you will attract? Guess what type of things you will attract? Unhealthy, toxic, things as well. If you yourself, you treat yourself as this perfect, symmetrical, stable home that is totally cleaned up and from the ground up, right, worked with the best ingredients, with the best possible structure, that means that you're treating yourself like the success that you wish to welcome. If you treat yourself majestically, and that doesn't mean that you have to spend tons of money on your diet, on your clothes, or anything like that, but if you treat yourself like a king, then the success that you will attract will be your kingdom, right? And will be glorious. If you treat yourself very badly and like somebody who doesn't deserve respect or success, then the outcome most likely will be that you won't really get to the point where you feel like, oh, now I'm enjoying success. But first of all, what does that mean, treating you majestically? What does that mean, treating you nicely? Well, of course, it's food. Of course, it's the education, information you get into your system. It's your diet, about going to sleep early and wake up as early as you can, and then put in the great work, work out and have some habits where you kind of reinforce yourself and where you calm yourself down, whether that's praying, whether that's meditating, whether that's yoga, whether it's breathing exercises, sports, of course, as well. But majestically means that you are truly honest and loyal to your needs, to what you are actually looking for. And by that, I mean, you know, the success that you wish to attract is reflected by your actions, by your training, by your exercise. So the first thing that you have to visualize for yourself is, I want extraordinary results, right? And to have extraordinary results in my life, I don't want to be average, right? Question to you guys: you want to be average? You want to be mediocre? You want to kind of swim with the stream and being comfortable somewhere, or you want to have extraordinary results, remarkable and unique moments in your life? So if you want extraordinary results, you have to put in some remarkable work in order to achieve that. I give you an example out of my own experience. When I got my first theater play, everybody, I got I was the co-protagonist of my first pro theater play, and that was very exciting. I was 12 years old, and I saw how everybody was kind of getting prepared for the role and memorizing the lines, and I thought I have to do something on top of that. For me, it felt I wasn't doing enough just by memorizing the lines and going to the rehearsals. I wanted to really be part of that theater play. I really wanted to understand the play. I really wanted to be, kind of part and an essential part of the fabric of the play, not just a role that kind of pops up. I don't know why I had that feeling. I know, looking back and trying to kind of recollect what kind of drove me to having that type of conclusion. I really don't know. It wasn't something anybody said to me, the director or one of my professors back then. It was just my feeling. I wanted to be more than just the role. I wanted to be more involved into the play and more knowledgeable about everything that was happening in the environment of that imaginary life. So what I did And what I did back then is I've learned every role of the play, like every line of every role of that play. And it was like a major German classical play back then. It was kind of a big chunk of literature. And besides my role that I had to play, which was like the co-protagonist, I've literally learned every single role of that play, of that play. Why? Because I wanted to absorb as much as I could. I wanted to be involved as much as I could, and really learning every perspective, every point of view, and looking through each and all the eyes of all the characters that were involved in the story to really understand where my character was actually standing at, in order to kind of play that character in a great and extraordinary way. So that little example shows you that when you have an extraordinary commitment, when you have a great intent, and your discipline and your dedication is above average, what happens is that you have a result that is above average as well. Now, looking back, my first play, my first pro job was a great success. I enjoyed it, being on stage, and everybody was complimenting me, and I got great reviews, and it was great. But it wasn't about the fame that I received afterwards. It wasn't about the great reviews and people kind of clapping and all that, and cheering me up, and that was nice. But that was a secondary product. For me, it was more important to really feel what I was doing and really being involved in the role, and really being involved in the process. I felt the urge of doing something more in order to kind of be satisfied with myself, and having tried everything possible in my with my forces, with my instruments, everything that I could to kind of interpret this character as at the best that I could, the best that I can. And that's what happened. It was a beautiful night, and we enjoyed great success, and I was pretty satisfied with my performance. And I think that is, in a way, telling on a very small scale, but also on a very big scale. The dedication that you put in to fill up your space, to fill up, to create that architecture, and to really demonstrate to the universe and to yourself that you are really resonating with this product, that you are one with this product, that you're connected. Because that shows in your eyes, that shows when you're stepping into the room, and you know everything about the feature that you're about to shoot, or everything about the lines, or everything about the role. When you really studied and you kind of absorbed as much as you could about the environment, about the background, everything, then that shines through. That your eyes will tell that, because you resonate all of a sudden. It's not just, yeah, I'm participating. No, I'm part of it, right? I'm not just participating, I'm not just leaving something here and then I'm just going home. No, you see already, like through me, shining what this play, what this character, what this story, what this role is actually about. I'm telling the story with my energy already before I even say a line. That is the type of dedication I'm talking about. You have to welcome success by building something that is above average, that is greater, with greater determination, greater intent, and greater commitment than anybody else. Otherwise, the fork, will lead the energy into another direction. You have to attract it into your direction by doing something that is out of the box, that is above average. It's about designing your structure. And that means that you work relentlessly on every single detail, that you work relentlessly on your craft, on your speech, on your delivery, on your acting skills, on your dancing skills, on your body posture, on your behavior, on the tone of your voice, on many, many things that you can acquire. The more you learn, the more knowledge you gather, the more you reflect upon this knowledge, and the more you reflect upon your experiences, the more wisdom you will accumulate, the better you will become, because it shines through. It becomes part of your system. And again, you're attracting greatness when you're putting greatness into work. If you don't put greatness into work, how can you ask for something that is so great if you are not willing to put in the great work beforehand, right? It's an equal amount of exchange. It's Newton's fourth law of thermodynamic. The force that you are impressing is the same force that is kind of expressing at the same time. So the same type of power that you put in will come out. If you put slow and low power and a very just less power into a system, into a battery, the battery, if you don't charge the battery fully, the battery will just give you the amount of energy that you just charged, right? The battery can't give you more, even though you expect more. If you're just charging it for 10%, it will give you back 10%. You have to charge the battery 100% to receive 100% back of charge, of current, of energy, of success. So my first tip would be this: you have to be extraordinary. You have to put in more work than anybody else. You have to show great intention, great intent, and absolutely extraordinary, majestic commitment. Majestic in terms of, this is me, this is authentic, this is the type of success. This is my kingdom here, this is my space here. I feel surrounded by great energy. And you can only attract that if you do the same thing, if you surround yourself with great energy. Again, on a physical and also metaphysical level. On a physical level, that means take care of your body, take care of your skin, of your teeth, of everything. Take care of your sleeping routine. Put good and healthy habits into place every day, and you follow up on them. That's your goal, right? A great writer doesn't think about, maybe a great writer has an idea for a great novel, a great book, but the goal is not to write a great book. The goal is to write 10 pages every day. 10 pages every day. That's the amazing work that I put in. And these 10 pages, they fully reflect what I got inside of myself. But in order to fully reflect what I got inside of myself, I have to be transparent, right? I have to be in the position where I can put all of myself into these pages, on top of these pages. And in order to do that, I have to kind of make sure that my environment, my system, my lifestyle, my habits kind of support that transparency. If everything cloaks that transparency, if I have a toxic lifestyle, if my diet is totally off, if I don't take care of my body, of my sleeping routine, if I have toxic habits, then I will clock, right? I will close the system down. I won't be transparent, so I can't attract greatness, because I'm not putting the great work into beforehand, firsthand. So both things go hand in hand. The great everyday work is attracting the ultimate great success. If you think about a great performance by a great actor, John Malkovich, or think about John Malkovich, right? His performances are always very interesting and compelling and funny and mind-blowing sometimes. And why is that? Because if you look at John Malkovich's performances, or of course Meryl Streep, they're full and packed with little ideas. It's not big things. It's not the big thing that impacts you. It's about the small thing that that these actors are able to put in every scene. Every scene of these actors, they're filled up with small and beautiful ideas, little great details, right? The thing that before this scene ends, it's just a movement, a little smile, or just something that tells me that there was more work involved, more spark involved, more dedication involved than with any other actor. Ideas is what they drive the scene. Ideas drive our character. Ideas drive the way we behave in life. Ideas drive our careers. Ideas, they drive pretty much everything. Ideas, when you offer a solution, you have a business. So ideas are an essential part of our acting craft and about having success, right? If, like I said, if you find a solution to a problem and you can cater that to the public, to your audience, you will have a business. So success. If you have ideas while you're performing, or when you're preparing your role, and when you're tackling your role, then you are offering more than somebody else potentially might offer. in the room, that's super important to kind of stand out, to have no competitors at all, to really kind of stand out, compared to anyone else. The casting director will perceive, this actress, she came up with different small and big and very strange but interesting ideas. Ideas are really the spark, that illumination, right? An idea is when the light goes on, and when the light goes on, right, we see the room, we see the space, again, we're resonating with something. Now we can perceive something, we can create a connection with somebody, with something. So ideas are really what there are, the energy supply for our traction, right? They are the energy supply for the chain reaction that will lead to success. Ideas is what definitely, makes and forms the architecture, where I can, put some details here and there that will attract the type of success that I wish for personally. So besides first tip, putting in remarkable work and remarkable dedication and extraordinary intent every day into your little things, into your everyday work, and installing great habits for your life, in order that your house, you as a human being, you are, building this house of success, right, with very stable and very concrete fundaments. Besides that, you need ideas, because ideas will illuminate this house, illuminate the surroundings, illuminate the environment. They will make this house feel very more welcoming than, a dark. And even though, if look at a house can be beautiful, right? But if it's dark at night, it's not really welcoming, right? A beautiful house without any illumination is kind of a scary and creepy place. It could be the most beautiful architecture in the world, but if you don't see anything, you won't live there, right? Success is the same thing. You have to illuminate your house, and illuminating that house as a metaphor means that you have to come up with ideas. And how do you come up with ideas? By researching, by asking specific questions, by reading a lot, by diversifying your fields of interest. Because here it is, another reason why most actors fail is because they are just focusing on acting. And that might seem like a contradiction. What does that mean? Look, I'm acting for over 30 years now. And the reason why I've never lost interest in acting is because I have a very diversified field of interest and knowledge pockets I like to tap in. I like to entertain myself with history books, with astrology, with communication, with marketing, with technological aspects, and trading, all sorts of different types of, fields of interest, that kind of enrichen my product, that will distract me from just thinking about acting, and subsequently just thinking about success. Because if there is this monoculture, right, in your brain and in the soil, if you cultivate your soil, if you have a farm, you have some land, and you just cultivate the same fruit, the same vegetables, or the same corn for years, over and over again, the soil will dry out, because the soil, earth, needs different proteins, needs different ingredients, needs different information. You can't really just you can't really harvest forever on the same soil the same type of fruit and vegetable. You have to kind of change and diversify your product. So a great way to have always a healthy distance to the acting endeavor, to entertainment industry, especially when things are a bit dry, is to diversify your interest and to search out for different pockets or associated pockets of wisdom and knowledge, where you can drain experience and inspiration from, that will help you to nourish and to kind of fill up your tank, in order to put some steam behind your engine again, and have more traction. Success always comes from being on the move, being proactive, being active. Success gets generated by showing people that you're always kind of warmed up, that you're ready to perform, that you're ready to go, like we always like to say. Does that make sense to you guys? Please let me know in the comment section down below, because that's so important. Like, there was this interview with Tiger Woods, and he was once asked, how do you manage to stay on top of the golf game, and being the number one golf player for so long on planet Earth? And he said, well, it's pretty easy. When I'm not golfing, I'm playing tennis. When I'm not on the course and exercising my swing and preparing for any tournaments, I'm doing something completely else. I kind of switch my mind off and I, switch another mind on. And I like to, that's what Tiger Woods said. I like to kind of, I dedicate myself with different type of sports and dive into something completely else. And I couldn't agree more. Like, this was my experience as well. And it is my experience as well. I remind you guys, I'm on set every day. And when you're on set every day, in order to not dry out artistically and to have always the right drive, the right motivation to kind of put out your best product, you need to come up with ideas. You need to come up with a different spark. You need to kind of attack the boulder from a different angle. If you're always executing the same thing, if you're always just interested in, acting, nothing new will come up. Nothing new will be added to the product, right? And think about great actors. They're most of the times they're also great musicians. Great actors like to sing or play instruments. They like to diversify their artistic endeavors. They like to put in some energy into other artistic projects because it's just so much that we can express through our acting endeavors and through our acting craft, which is a beautiful craft that I love to play. But to me, it helps a lot to kind of put myself into another position where maybe I'm not so important. Right, when I'm drawing, I'm just on my own, right? I'm not so important. Nobody's looking at me and watching me and judging me, and it's not about being Picasso. I can be like a totally mediocre painter or drawer. It just helps me to kind of focus on something else and to channel my energy into something else and to be creative in a different way. And it helps me to to forget my schedule, but it also helps me to come up with new ideas, with new shapes and forms. I look at my drawings sometimes, or I read a book that is about history or religion or something, and I get a new idea for a scene or for my character, or I kind of discover that there is like a similarity here and there. So that spices up my original product by being diversified with my hobbies and how I put in my energy when it's after work. And this is something that I see most commonly with the successful actors. They all have this in common. They have different interests. They have time to pursue their hobbies and their passions. They are not only focused on acting, and that helps them to get their mind off big success, big fame, big checks, and just improving as an artist and being creative and coming up with ideas by reading something, by practicing music on an instrument, and by discovering other talents, maybe learning a new language, a new set of skills that helps you tremendously to kind of always spice up your product, always come up with a different notion, always put a new ingredient into your play every time you get called to action. And that will help you sometimes when you have dry days or darker moments, even when you're shooting a lot, to kind of find the inspiration and the drive you need to really perform remarkably. So ideas definitely are something that will help you to have a lasting career. But most importantly, when you have ideas, and because this is the house of success we're talking about, you're illuminating yourself. You're full of sparks and great intention. And when you have great intentions and great ideas and you're illuminating and I came up with something, you feel the dopamine that will rush through your system will make you feel there is something very gratifying in coming up with ideas. There is something very helpful for your mental condition when you come up with ideas. There is something about having ideas that really helps you to feel good in your place where you're at right now. Because no matter how dark the day is, when you come up with ideas, it's like, hey, great, right? You kind of acknowledge for yourself, I'm still able to do it. There is still hope, right? There is still momentum inside of me again. And that good work, that good intention, that illumination attracts success, attracts the people that are relevant in our respective field, because they see, she's always trying to do something new. She's always searching for a new product. She's always coming up with great ideas. I like to invest in this actress. I like to invest in this actor because I can trust that my investment will grow. It's not just about, putting the money somewhere and looking to the other direction. No, it's putting my money somewhere and seeing how it grows, how it gets stacked, how it appreciates value over time, because more and more ideas will get add to this product. And more ideas I have, more solutions I have. The more solutions I have, the more flexible I am. The more flexible I am, the more adaptive I am. And that means that I can start to juggle with different interpretations. I'm ready to kind of deploy all types of performances. And that shows that I'm a multifaceted type of actor with many layers that I can add to my character, to my role, and that kind of solidifies my statue, my status. And of course, it will drive more revenue, because as a producer, somebody who's responsible, I will always love to invest in someone where I see that there are more layers to it than what the eye can perceive superficially, right, on first glance. I always love to invest in more layers, because that will give me more opportunities to see my investment get appreciated, because that actor eventually, with the privilege of, being able to, with that role, he will, drive this role into many directions, and will illuminate and enlighten this role and will lighten this thing up from many points of views, and that will make this character stand out compared to any other character. So that character becomes more valuable, gets more appreciated by the audience, and your value subsequently as an actor rises. So again, you're attracting the success by building up something for your own, on your own, by investing in yourself, and by always searching for optimization. Right? Never be satisfied, never, get too complacent, never get, too comfortable with your role, with your preparation, with the type of knowledge you're accumulating, with the type of research that you're doing. There's always a little bit more that you can do. There's always a new idea that you can discover. There's always a new note that you can add, right? Ideas really are the lightning compound of our house of success. So make sure to kind of invest in that and really train that ability, and let that become a habit, to have ideas on set, to illuminate your characters with great sparks, and to add as many layers as you can to your interpretation, because that shows depth, and people love to invest in depth as well, right? And the third tip to kind of build a magnificent house of success for yourself, and to really attract great projects, is, when you invest in yourself, like I said previously, this investment stays. And usually what we do is, we learn something, and then we practice that, and what we've learned gets better and gets appreciated over time. And then we learn something new, and that gets appreciated, and that gets better over time, and then again and again and again, and we're repeating this cycle. But when we're looking back at this, it's like, it's like a chain, it's like a pearl chain of experiences that we kind of add one to another, and that becomes our collection. But the thing is that most actors will fail, or won't have the type of career they were set out to kind of achieve, or maybe they're not, even realizing their own potential, and subsequently the possibilities that, that they actually have, and potentially also the success that they could achieve, is because this type of collection is like an archive. And when I say archive, I mean archive, right? Your house of success needs a library, needs an archive, it needs a compendium, it needs this chain of memories that you put together, and that you kind of, look after, and that you kind of refresh and refurbish once in a while. Never take anything for granted. Always look for the deeper meaning, and try to realize that every character that you're playing, every role that you're experiencing, every audition you get called for, is a new layer, is a new experience. It's a new page in the book that gets stored in your library. There is this collection, there is this archive inside of yourself. And as a practical tip, I want you to realize that you kind of have to start being your own librarian, that you have to kind of start putting out, that you have to kind of collect these experiences, whether you're writing them down, whether you're storing them in your mental palace, whether you have any type of recording going on. But when you're going to an audition, when you delivered your character and you're exiting the audition, record yourself. Today, this is the date, this is the year, this is the time I've played for this and for this and that. I've auditioned for this role and I did it in this way, after preparing this way, and that was the output. Was the result satisfying? Yes or no? Why was it satisfying? Did I hit the mark? Did I got the callback? Did I got into the production reading? Yes or no? Why was it a failure? Because we always say, yeah, we should look out for the failure, or we should be able to, to risk something in order to fail, and failures are great teachers. Yeah, there are. I mean, they are part of a great career. You need to fail, that's for sure. But it's not the failure you should, look out for. It's not the mistake that we want to achieve. It's not the problem that we love to kind of ran into. We will discover some problems. We will, uncover some surprises. We will have to deal with something totally unexpected, whether that's on set or in the audition room or when we are preparing the role. But it's not that we are sailing out in order to kind of meet the problem or meet the failure, because, hey, if you are sailing out, if your quest is to fail, because then you can learn, but then you will just attract failures. You want to attract success, right? You want to build the house of success, not the house of failure, not the house of mistake, not the house of slip-ups. They are part of the experience. You can incorporate the reflection out of what you just did wrong or what just went sideways into your practice, into your habits, in order to become better. But what I'm talking about is when you are storing this type of information, why it is so important is to create a collection about your success, to kind of, chain up these pearls and to understand how many successes you had during the week, during the day, during the month, and during the year. To self-acknowledge, like, wow, how much success already I had this year. It's amazing. Great experiences being on set, great experiences being in the room, great experiences preparing myself for an outstanding role in a remarkable way, right? My third tip is to collect those experiences, because we as impersonators, as very sensitive beings, right, as artists and creators, we love to identify ourselves with our failures, with our mistakes, with the problems, and with the pain, right? Oh, that went sideways. Oh, that was bad. And when we are identifying ourselves with that type of mindset, again, that's what we're attracting in the future. And I've seen that personally. I've seen so many wonderful, creative, talented actors that were failing over and over again, that we're just not making it there. We're just not hitting the right spot, and that we're just not entering the right stage for whatever reason. But then I've kind of realized, like, yeah, because they were overly obsessed with the idea, oh, I failed here, I did a mistake there, and they were always thinking about what they did wrong and what went sideways and what, kind of hindered them from being great at a certain point, at a certain date, with a certain person, instead of focusing, hey, what was positive about this? What was great about my performance? What went well? What type of preparation did I put in? Because experiences, they get lost. And what we will remember after a couple of years is just the negative aspect. But what we should store instead in our archive, in our library, it's the positive aspect. If we want to attract positivity, then we have to store positivity. The problem is that our long-term storage unit is always focused on the sad aspect, on the negative aspect. And again, when we are having those dry moments, we are overly focusing again on those negative experiences, and so our whole energy flows into the direction of negativity. And where our focus goes, that's where our energy flows. If we're always focusing on bad things, that's where our energy will flow. As a result of that, as we know from Newton, the result will be the equal amount of negative energy back to us. We have to kind of store the great experiences. We have to write down what we did well. We have to kind of in some way find a system where we create that archive of different characters that went great, of great experiences. Also because when we get called to action again, and we have a character that is quite similar to another character that we've played, or where we encounter a character where we find some parts and some facets of that character similar to another character, or there is something that is kind of, that we can include in this new one, we can extract that. We can extract that experience from our catalog. We can use the elements that we need and put it into the new container, into the new character. And exactly like we did before, we're attracting again the right energy, the right response, because we already tested this. But if we don't remember it, if we don't actively get it into our system, then we will passively suffer from our long-term condition of always overly focusing on the negative aspect of our career, of our life, of how things are going in general. Write down your positive experiences, your daily little missions and your quests, and what you've conquered and what you've kind of did right, instead of always focusing on what you did wrong and where you failed and what your mistakes were. You will remember those anyways, and you will learn from that automatically. But what we tend to forget is what's so good about us. People, when they ask us in the room, now tell me a little bit about yourself, it's like, yeah, well, I do this is my passion, but what's so great about me? What am I good at? What am I great at? What am I superb at? What am I majestically at? Right? This is the type of stuff that you should enforce. Don't be a victim, right? Be a hero. Attract great energy, attract greatness, and that you can only do if you illuminate, if you radiate that out. So that will be my third tip. My third tip will be, create some sort of archive of great experiences, of great characters, of all the different discoveries that you've made over time, and you will realize how much success already you had, because that's the great work. And it's also a great way when it comes down to negotiating and to set a value for yourself, to realize, like, look at my experience this year, look at all the work that I've put in into achieving greatness, into welcoming success into my house of success. No, I'm way more, I'm worth it way more than what you are offering me. So it's also a way of defending your value, and not let always kind of negativity you know get through to you. Just protect yourself and set a value for yourself by acknowledging what type of experiences you've made, how much you've invested, and what kind of great success already you got out of the system and out of yourself, because you're investing in yourself. You're creating that architecture. Once again, I will never be tired of reinforcing this concept, because it's something that happened to me. I'm basically talking out of own experience, because every time something went sideways, I always had to focus on a positive aspect of it. I always had to come back to myself and say, hey, okay, this went sideways, but there were big chunks of what just happened that I kind of liked anyways, that I nonetheless I appreciated, and that I nonetheless find that I was doing something right, but I was also doing something wrong that I can eliminate. But I will focus definitely on what I did right, and not always looking at what went wrong. So these are my, three fundamental tips to build up that house of success. Put in great work, surround yourself with great people, have a great environment that is supportive. If you don't have a supportive environment, make sure to reach out to the people that are supportive. Look for great communities. You rather stay alone instead of staying with people that are negative, because they will drag you down. They will drain energy and leech off from your negativity, because misery always likes company. And sometimes, yeah, climbing that mountain and reaching that summit point can be a lonely job for sure. But it's the success afterwards of being on top and being there on the peak that will kind of, gratify you. And for it's not the sacrifice, it's the investment that you've put in. It's not really a sacrifice if you know that the daily great work will attract automatically the great success, and will make you also ready to kind of support that great success. Because sometimes I feel people aren't really ready for it because they weren't really prepared. And my fourth and last, and it's a bonus tip, I might say, right? It's an extra tip. It's prepare yourself as if the great success already is coming in. Set yourself up for a great career, right? If set yourself up with that ethical spinal cord that you also like to wish to encounter. Act as if you are very famous already. Act as if you are, a very professional, a working actor, somebody who's in the game already. Don't act as somebody that is just waiting and procrastinating and is, hoping for a good call. Act as if, right? Work on your speech, work on your text, work on your monologue, work on your skin, work on your body, work on your mental condition, stay healthy, have a great environment, put in some good nutrition into your body, stay healthy, have a great diet, right? Act as if you are a famous actor already, because that's the way you are attracting also those great projects. Your house has to be illuminated, it has to have great structure, and it needs to have an understanding of what you did so far, because now you're acknowledging your power, because we have power. Don't make yourself a victim because right now you're not writing the big checks. You have power to kind of attract those big checks by putting this work into a habit, into a constant and continuous working machine that works for you, not against you, right? So thanks so much, guys, for sticking with us till the end. I hope you enjoyed today's live chat, the House of Success. If you have any further questions, any comments, any remarks, please let me know in the comment section down below, or DM me on Instagram, where it's the COACHMC. Subscribe to this channel, activate the bell, and leave a like so the algorithm knows that you kind of valued this information. Shoot this video out there to your creative community. If you want to set up a meeting with me, like a free trial lesson of 30 minutes to find out if we're a great match, whenever it comes down to preparing your next big upcoming role, your next audition, you want to spice up your show reel and want to talk about your communicational skills, please be my guest on the CoachMC.studio. And I think we feel that now it's time to have success. So build up that house. Let me know how the progress is going, and share your experiences here with the creative community. Because now, guys, for this episode, we are ready to perform, right? We are. So see you next time with the next video.